Let's add some volumes to the frontal view. So we have our proportion system here, and the head is easy. The head, we just bring from the frontal view a basic oval right around the head. So that is, the head is already an oval for us. So we're really just thinking about adding ovals. The next obvious oval is the egg shape of the rib cage. I'm drawing all the way through the neck right now and bringing it all the way down to the base of the rib cage. From there, we can come down to the shape of the pelvic region. Sort of a round, it's actually kind of a bowl shape, but you can just treat it like a wide sort of oval. And in between the rib cage and the pelvic region, you can put another oval. This is the region of the belly. Here. And it's in here that ultimately the belly button would arrive. Off of either side of the rib cage, we can put a few more ovals for the region of the shoulders. Now these ovals of the shoulders, they actually move across the egg of the rib cage, so it's sort of nice to think of them as flanking it rather than attached in sort of a hard way. They're movable. And also at the top of the rib cage, there's an opening. This is the circle of the first rib, and it's into that opening that ultimately the column of the neck would fit. So from here, it's interesting to visualize the pectoral region of the chest, because what it almost appears like it does, this sort of area, is it's around the region of the fifth rib. The pectoral muscle comes out and almost wraps and becomes part of that shoulder shape. And it's nice to have that in there, because then you can really visualize how the bicep, or the upper arm mass here, sort of slips out from underneath that shape. And visually that helps create more of a sense of naturalism. So there's your upper arm volume and your lower arm volume. So we're just adding ovals here. Oval for the hand, oval for the thumb, oval for this hand, oval for the thumb. And then we might look at this region of the belly and ask ourselves, you know, here's the center point of the body coming down, but often there gets filled out a little bit here and here by the external obliques. And they often sort of have a second line that come down to the region of the base of the pelvis. And then we start to look at the legs and the upper leg region here, this long shape of the thigh, really masking the femur bone, because there's a lot of big muscles in the quadriceps that mask this. And notice how the femurs sort of angle down towards each other. And then we have the mass of the calf coming down to the lower leg. And we really want to take a look at the negative space that happens between the legs, because that can really help us place them in space to each other. And then the feet can be sock shapes. They could be sort of long ovals. And they teeter across this bottom proportional line. And we also want to look at how, coming off of the head, there's a segue down to the shoulders with the trapezius that isn't a concave line. There's a sense of breadth to it. Also, in this frontal view, we can talk a little bit about some of the segues that could happen between high and low. And so coming off the hip point here, there's a little bit of an attitude of a curve that comes down, and then I like to think of it coming down again into the tibial region, just visually allowing the eye to move from the region of the upper body to the lower body along this curvature. So this is one way to start imposing volumes on the frontal figure, and having this proportion system and structure underneath makes it so much easier.